My name is Mohammed Tarek, and today we are going to implement the disjoint set data structure. We have seen how disjoint set works, and we have also discussed the methods union and find. So today we will implement these two methods, and we will see how we can apply these two methods and what the results are. I have a NetBeans IDE on my left hand side, and I have a PowerPoint presentation. So I have here sample data. I have I have six disjoint sets here, 0 to 5. And we will union 0 and 1, 2 and 3, and 3 and 4. Now we will see how we can union these elements. So let's start the implementation. My class name is my disjoint set, right? And so let's start the implementation. So let's first declare an integer array, and we will call this as parent. Okay, now let's implement the constructor of this class. So I will say my disjoint set. I will take the number of elements I want to declare this array with. So here in this I can initialize the parent, okay, the array that I declared, and here I can say integer, and I will declare this, the size will be the same. So I have declared this, and now what I can do, I can initialize this array with initial values. So I can say for integer I equals to 0, I is less than parent dot length, and I plus plus. This is a simple loop, and in this loop I will simply initialize the values of parent of I equals to I. So I'm only initializing every element with its own value. So I will be having an array, and every value will be the index of that value. So this is simple enough. Okay, now let's implement the find method. Why are we implementing find first? Because when we will apply union method, we need to get the parent of that element. And to get the parent, we call the find method. So let's implement the find method. I can say public integer because it will give me the name of the parent, and I can say find, and I will say integer as a parameter. Now in this find method, what I can say is if parent, which is our array, parent of I is equals to I. So it means if it's a disjoint set, it means if that element's parent is itself, he is himself a parent, right? So let's as an example. So as an example, if I have an element, let's say 0, and if I have an element 1, so initially they are all have self references, right? And the array that I have declared, so our array is something like this, in which these are indexes. These are indexes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's say, and the values are also the same: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So they are parent of themselves, right? So here we can say that if the relation is a reflexive relation, then we can simply return I. Okay. Otherwise, it means if they are not their parent. For example, if I have something here, for example, one on one, I have something else. For example, if I have on one, if I have two, it means the parent of index one is two. So this means this is its parent, and index two is a self relation, right? So what we will do is we will return 2 as the parent of 1. So here I can say find. I'm calling find again. So I'm using the recursive method, and I will say parent of I. Okay. And here I can return that value. So I'm recursively calling the find method. In find method, I'm recursively calling the find method to get the parent of I, right? So if it's 1, then I will again call the method find, and the second time the value will be here 2, as you can see in this example, right? The value will be 2, and then when we will call find of the parent of 2, so it will give me 2 because it's reflexive. Now let's implement the union method. Public void union, and we will take two values because we gonna union two values, I and j, let's suppose. Now in union method we will call find method on the elements that we get, right? So I can say find of i of i, and I can store this method, the return of this method. So I can say this dot find, and I can store the value. I can store the value in an integer, let's say value 1. Okay, so it's a find method, so I will have to say find of parent of I, right? The wrong implementation. Find of the parent of I, right? And then the same will go with value 2. I can say integer value 2, and this dot find parent of j. Okay, so I will get the parent of both the values, and then I can say this dot parent, this dot parent of value 1, right, and assign that value 2, right? So what I'm actually doing here is I'm assigning the value of 2, or you can say the value 2, to the index of 1, right? So here, as you can see, so if I want to union 0 and 1, so what I will do is, let's say I is equals to 0 and j is equals to 1. And if I want to union them, so the parents of both these values are themselves. The parent of 0 is 0 and the parent of 1 is 1. So what I'm doing is value 1, which is index number 0, right? Value 1 is index number 0. Let's say this is value 1, and this is value 2. Okay, this is value 1 and this is value 2. So what I'm actually saying is parent, the name of an array is parent of value 0, right? Assigned to value 0, right? Whatever, what I'm saying is value 0, parent of 0, and assign whatever is in value 2, which is 1, and assign 1 to 0. So now the parent of 0 is 1. So you can say, or you can visualize like we have 1 here. So the parent of 0 is 1. So if I change this figure, so the figure will be something like this. We have 1 and then we have 0, because now the parent of 0 is 1 and 1 is reflexive, right? This is what we are doing. Okay, now let's implement the main method, public static void main, and let's initialize integer n is equals to 6. We have 6 elements, right? And let's initialize this class my disjoint set, djs disjoint set, and new my disjoint set, and I'm passing that value n. Now I can perform, let's say perform 0, right? I'm doing union 0 plus 1. So plus is actually a sign for union. DJS dot union 0, 0 and 1. Now we can say DJS dot union 2 comma 3, and DJS JS dot value dot union 3 comma 4. So these are the three values we are joining, and now let's check what the status is if disjoint set dot, if we say find, if we are finding some value, let's say 2, and let's check djs dot, because we need to also check how can we find that these two values are in the same set. So as we are performing union on 2 and 3 and 3 and 4, so it means their parent will be 1. I mean, the parent will be the same. Whatever the parent is, this will be the same. But for the parent of this, 0 and 1 will be different, right? So let's say djs dot find, let's say 2 and 4. So the result should be true. Let's say the result should be true, and else the result should be false. Okay, let's check another condition. Let's copy this condition. Let's copy this condition and paste. And now let's check 2 and 1. Okay, so this time the condition will give us false because they both are from different parents. So now let's run this program. Let's see what the result is. So as you can see here, the first is true. The first condition is true since, as you can see, since we are checking 2 and 4, they both are in the same set. Why? Because we have joined something like 2 and 3 and 3 and 4. So their parents are same. In the second condition, we have find 2 and find 1. They both are from different sets. Okay. So I hope this will be helpful for you. And in the next lecture, we will implement the path compression technique that we have seen using the find method. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.